So I thought I would give my review of going to the Holocaust Museum um, and my experience here in this area and also in Krakow. Um, this is probably one of the most discriminating environments that I think I have probably ever been in prejudice. These people and whoever's setting this up is extremely prejudiced. Many of the people that showed up over, the education teacher, the people that were over in Auschwitz, they were very mutilating toward me when I was there. I absolutely didn't speak to anyone but the instructor, the teacher, maybe asking a few questions and talking to him for maybe not even 5 minutes after the whole thing was done. And as we're going from room to room, they're just abusing and using the situation to gouge me in any kind of fucking way. It was it was a very horrible experience, and the idea of how discriminating it was, and how there were a few people there using that were targeting me, that were in a riot. I took pictures of them that were wearing a crucifix. One of them was, and was mimicking Richard Martinez, because they all want to protect him because he's the leader of how I ended up getting raped and how all this situation ended up unfolding at the GED Center. So, as far as I want to say this, I'm not kidding that there were people laughing around me and mocking the situation the entire time almost I was there. As I was walking into the gas chambers, there were people that were mocking me and toying and coming into that room where thousands of people were murdered and just having an amusement park with it. It was absolutely very targeting against me. I felt the sensation of how these people would have wanted me to die and killed me. And I'm not kidding that as I'm looking at these people's faces and I'm seeing their body language and how they're trying to express things, they were very disgusting, very discriminating, and very nasty to me. I didn't say anything. I don't know who was sending these people, staging it while I was there. I can see totally how I've heard about reviews of other people going there talking about there's a lot of people that go to that place thinking that it's an amusement park. And there was very little of anything that was going there empathetic. There was very existence of any empathy of any of the tragedies of what was going on there. It was just like going to an art show. They didn't have, and especially toward me, you could see how the whole situation was unfolding as they were just targeting me, circling around the place just to use that compound against me. It was nothing else more than that. Um, I don't know who set these things up. They were shooting electronic devices at me. I absolutely felt the sensation of how discriminating when I was in those death chambers and crematories. Um, I don't know who was sending those people. I don't know really what to say. Um, you know, as I was walking through there, they were following me inside and out and harassing me and walking through these places, like sort of just targeting me. And you could sense like they wanted to engage and fight. It was, they were toying with the entire situation when I was there in the crematories. They were toying with the situation when I was there in this empty room where thousands of people were murdered. Um, I don't know what to say. I guess that's how the people of this country and the people that sent these people to do this is supposed, that's how they function. They're just used to this seeing that kind of stuff because a lot of people go there. I don't know what to think of it, but it was very murderous. It felt the very sense of prejudice against me, what I need to do with my personal life, very specifically on religious, using that compound strictly against me. These were dozens of strangers. This was the class or the group of people that I book this with, I book and they group people up randomly and then they send them. They were using that entire situation to their advantage. It was not an educational course at all. It was how they could persecute me and justify what had happened to me by being raped by a transgender. It was there for me to be used in preparation of my mortality and how that preparation is going to happen so they could sacrifice me for their religious Christianity and other religious beliefs and their versions of it. Um, I feel very uncomfortable. I couldn't really believe that this place could have been as disgusting as to how these people were. I don't know what to think other than I was trying to feel empathetic or empathy for the tragedy, and I was, but it was very crucially difficult because these people kept on engaging. Because there was one I have plenty of footage of, is they had this person portraying themselves coming at me, and it was some transgender, and then there was another gay man, and then there was another gay individual, and there was another transgender, and they kept on circling around me like hyenas. I started to feel very threatened in that gas chamber as I was recording, making a video, and saying a few things. Some of the places that you go into, they'll allow you to go make videotape and pictures. Well, I was in that gas chamber and they were walking in there like hyenas, like circling around me, like ready to kill. Like ready to kill the infected piece of shit who's not their Christian belief or who is not of their human being race. So that's my experiences of it. I'm totally separate from these people as far as the tragedy that had happened there. You know, I was feeling empathy, but it was very difficult because of what these people were doing. Someone sent them and didn't tell them to shut the fuck up. Someone sent them and could have told them, hey, let this individual, nobody gave a fuck. This guy that looks like Ken Cooper knows about what's going on. So they get these white supremacists to come charge at me in the representation of Ken Cooper to make him look glory because they feel sorry for the white race. This was a very prejudiced, racist experience among these fucking people that did this to me. I don't know what to say. Like I said, I'm a lot smarter and a lot, when many of these people and how to deal with something like this. I think that, I really was persecuted. I don't know what to say. They sent them. The fact that I look like Osama bin Laden, the fact that I'm Mexican, the fact that I have black hair, it was a very racist experience. As I'm walking through this city, very racist, very disgusting, prejudiced people. They are antagonizing the situation. They know that I just went to Auschwitz, and they're just preparing this and a global eureka moment for themselves, for Sarah, Ken Cooper, and Kenneth. This is the fact for the gay community and LGBT community, especially for the transgenders, because I got raped by a transgender. I don't know what to say. Without a doubt, these people were circling around me hyenas when I was inside the gas chambers. I'm not kidding you. And before I walked in there, they were stalking me and waiting, like practicing the death. And then there was these three guys that showed up. One was behaving like Richard Martinez. The other one had a crucifix. It was a real skinny guy, blonde hair, white, German. And then they're trying to insinuate their bullshit. And they were targeting me like I'm not of any creature of human life, that I'm just animal. And they were doing this before I walked in, and they walked around the other side waiting for me and stalking me and doing this shit to me. This is what this piece of shit. They were justifying Richard Martinez right when I walked out of that gas chambers. They literally walked around, they waited, and I stood there outside, right out the back when I came out. And I waited there for about 5 minutes waiting, and then they circled around stalking me, and they got somebody that looked like him, sort of body language, and that's exactly what they were doing. Hundreds, I don't know how many thousands of people. I'm guessing it had to have been hundreds of thousands. It'd be tens of thousands of people murdered I was walked in the area where the execution wall was, and as soon as I walk in that execution wall, they were preparing. You can see the body language and you can see their expressions. It wasn't just a feeling. You sense the idea that how somebody is persecuting you, and that's what they were doing. I don't know really what to say. It's almost like they had their firearms ready to kill me. And I stood right in front of that wall as, you know, why are you doing this to me? You sent these people. I know that they could have set this up a little bit better. I really would have liked for this to be more of a proper way for an educational way to be able to say this. The instructor didn't know how to speak English very well. Um, and when I spoke to him, he was milking the entire situation. He was very, very disrespectful. He was engaging. He was trying to represent Kenneth Cooper because, you know, he's DJ Keynote and he has green eyes like him. And it was nasty. And as soon as I'm walking and the thing was all over, he goes to me and he goes like this and he starts giving his personal insinuation. This, whatever this situation was in the glorification for those motherfuckers in their gay community. I don't know what to say. I didn't say anything. I was just asking questions. I was as polite as I could. It didn't fucking work. These motherfuckers were persecuting me. They were doing this shit in the gas chambers, in the crematories. I walk in front of them. You could sense how they were just there. And they were just doing this shit. And they were just playing around. The same people that were harassing me waited until I walked in front of that wall and then just started playing games like kill him. And this is the very spot where tens of thousands of people brutally killed. You know, I don't know what to say. They sent them, the psychologists. They sent people here when I got here to this hostel. You know, shooting an electronic device is making me stay still, and I was freezing my brain and controlling my brain, and then doing this to me as one of the workers here was insinuating that he's in control of my mother. And I started to sort of threaten him, saying, you're not going to control my mother just because my mother was going out and being raped and doing all this other shit. And he started to say, no, this is what's going to happen with your mother. I swear to God, and they were doing this shit here. You know, somebody was not telling these people any better, and they were allowing it. But I was here.